there's the first out. It gives Rhys Hoskins, who's had a perfect afternoon thus far, a chance to hit for a fourth time.
Behind his head, and here we go. Out to second goes Adames and Hoskins. Ramirez exchanging, and the umpire's saying we'll handle it.
That's got to be a warning. It has to be. They just threw Ramirez out of the game. Oh, wow. And now Carlos Mendoza comes out to argue that. So after conferring, the umpires decided that Johan Ramirez was throwing intentionally at Rhys Hoskins, and he has been ejected.
Triolo on the move. Could not hold up. Down on strikes. Called out by Mike Malinsky, the home plate umpire. And Derek Shelton is out. Being warned by Malinsky, and Derek Shelton has been ejected. Derek Shelton wanted him to appeal that.
I mean, that's why he's down there. That's why they have that available to them.
Derek Shelton ejected. Giving it to Mike Malinsky.
Jacob Young takes the 3-0 fastball on the edge. Well, somebody's gone. Alfonso Marquez said several times, no more, stop. And Franny, this isn't all about just that pitch. This goes back to the first inning.
Yeah, this is more Mackenzie Gore in defending his guy and knowing that, hey, my guy's making his pitches too. How are we calling this?
Miguel Cairo appears to be the one departing, the Nats bench coach.
Boy, you can tell Verdugo is not happy with that outside corner. He got punched out on a pitch that he thought was way outside, and now Aaron Boone giving John Bacon a piece of his mind. And he gets thrown out. You can see that coming.
And this is why, you know, I got to tell you, Emmanuel, he saw Verdugo was about to snap. And he does that. He is so good at that. And that's one of the reasons these players love Aaron Boone.
And in there, and he took one too many. Now he's going to argue that with a home plate up rehack, and he is going to be tossed out.
Can't. You know, I understand his frustration there, but knowing where you are in this game, like I said, Connor's still in it, and he can go there, but now you've got to put a guy like Devers in at third, and we don't know what the situation is.
Down to one.
It's a strike, too.
No doubt.
I know you're upset, but you just can't get thrown out there.
Shea's going to get strike three calls, so they're not happy. Bob Melvin, the manager, started to come out, and he was ejected by the plate umpire.
All right, so here's an interesting scenario.
Wow.
The Giants had one guy up in the bullpen, and it was Taylor Rogers, the lefty. But when Bob Melvin came out to make the move, Rogers pumped the brakes because Melvin asked for a righty. I'm sorry, I confused you even more.
He put up his right hand. Yeah, he put up his right hand.
So because he called for the righty and the lefty came out, and now Skip arguing with the crew chief Laz Diaz. So now they're going to bring in, looks like Camilo Doval, which was not the original plan.
And he wasn't warming up, so he quickly got up. Might be the second time Skip goes this year.
Yeah, he is hot right now. So watch Bob Melvin. He hasn't signaled yet, but now he says, give me the righty. The umpires say he said righty, but a lefty's coming out. And now Skip is still arguing with Laz Diaz. All right, and it looks like Skip is still down there, so I was wrong on that. But he was definitely hot, and Laz Diaz gave him his piece. And Skip wants to know the count. This could be the one right here. And now he's officially been thrown out. And Laz going right back and forth with Skip. And you got to imagine this is a little bit of a double-edged sword here for Skip. He's upset in the moment, whatever the confusion has been in the last 5 minutes, but also knowing how the first few weeks have gone here for the Marlins, that it was just a matter of time before he blew his top, and rightfully so. They're Pipe out there now talking with the umpires, Trip Gibson and Laz Diaz, to try to figure. They're still trying to get to the bottom of the reliever scenario, I think.
They're trying to get to the bottom of something.
And Skip came back out for more. He wants seconds. And they're trying to get clarification on the count. The scoreboard's got 0-1.
And that's a strike. 0-1. Glad he didn't like
make the call, and Ryan Wills is hearing it from the Blue Jay dugout, and here comes John Schneider.
He's been thrown out.
Yep.
Yeah, Schneider has been disagreeing with the strike zone most of the afternoon, and he is letting him have it, and it's been a very, very inconsistent strike zone.
Yeah.
In both directions.
Both ways. Yeah. Both managers have been upset today.
Yeah.
And John Schneider is done for the day. So DeMarlo Hale, the associate manager, will take over as the acting manager.
The call in the field stands. The runner's out.
All right, so what's the obstruction rule? What's the obstruction rule? This is Davey's going to go out right now because that is the obvious thing for obstruction.
All the hoopla about blocking second base, and the Nats lose a runner when second base was obviously blocked.
He wants to go out and talk to the second base umpire. He's saying, you know, the rules in place.
And he just got tossed.
Yep. Well, Davey is hot now.
He got tossed by the home plate umpire, Corey Blazer, and he wasn't really talking to Blazer.
Others would very much like to answer here in the bottom of the first inning. And that is strike 3. Profar doesn't like it, ends the inning, throws the bat, and the helmet has been tossed. Ejected by the home plate umpire, Ramon de Jesus. And Schultz is fired up. Threw the bat, and then when he threw the helmet, that's when he tossed him.
Boy, that escalated quickly, as they say.
Very quickly, and now Schultz is gone. Profar has been thrown out. Schultz has been thrown out on a pitch that was inside borderline strike, and Profar reacted quickly, and Ramon de Jesus didn't waste any time. He threw him right out, and now Mike Schultz has been thrown out as well.
Base hit. That's going to knock in Moreno, and it'll be a double for Newman. And Melvin's just been kicked out.
They're talking about the noise that Melvin did not think that foul ball made because he didn't think it was touched. And Sherwater's arguing with it. Now Matt Williams coming in. And Matt Williams might get tossed.
He did. Well, we don't know. But it sure looked like he was on his way.
The 0-2. And that hit Ruiz. He did not swing, so a hit by pitch, and Astori Ruiz, who is the most dangerous base runner in baseball, is on.
See, Aaron Boone is confused. Did he swing? Did he not swing? Also, the reaction on being hit by the pitch was a little bit delayed, so an interesting start to this one. Take another look at the slider, down and in, and it clearly gets that right foot. The only question, a good look here, did he swing?
You got anything else to say? You're gone. Okay?
Oh, okay, Hunter.
Well, you know what? We're not going to need a John Boy breakdown of that one. We got a very clear.
Aaron, you're done.
Well, there you go. And now Aaron's saying I didn't say anything.
You're gone.
Aaron's saying, hold on a second, I didn't say a word.
No, I don't care. I did not say anything, Hunter. Okay, I did not.
Hunter Wendelstadt with some aggressive rabbit ears, one batter into this game.
And he strikes him out. You can tell Lawrence Butler frustrated.
I got to tell you, Lawrence Butler is going to head to the showers. John Tumpain.
Mark Kotze might follow. He's going to come out and have a conversation.
Well, and in that spot right there, look, it's the 9th inning. I'm just not sure that that's a time. And you can see John saying, I've got it a strike. It's a strike. And he'll go back and find out that he's wrong.
Frustrating spot for Lawrence Butler. And now one down for the A's.
Gets by the catcher. Here comes Frelick to the plate. And they are saying an out is recorded, and they're going to send Frelick back to third.
Did the backswing knock the ball out of his glove or what?
He makes contact after the ball already gets away.
Yeah, gets him on the back of the helmet, on the top of the helmet after the ball got by him.
So he should still be able to go to first base, and it's not an out.
Right.
Because that does not affect a wild pitch. Pat Murphy gets ejected for the first time. And Ricky Weeks trying to restrain him.
That slider caught the inside corner, according to Jansen Visconti. Jazz disagreed.
Jazz better watch out. Once you start to look back at an umpire and you start to throw your hands up, you can get the hook real quick, and you can see, I mean, that ball just barely touches that corner.
When Jazz was walking away, Visconti was just taking the balls from the ball boy and moving on and didn't really give much credence to it. But Jazz sat right next to Mel and kept going, asked him to stop one more time, and finally threw him out of the game.
Ooh, and he hit Siri. 3-0 mistake, and he got Siri in the leg. Second hit batter for Freddie Peralta. And the umpire's out in front, and the umpires are going to come in and have a discussion. Are they going to issue warnings? So Siri was the one who hit the home run off of Freddie back in the third inning.
Up a 3-0 pitch that got him in the leg.
And they just toss him? They just tossed Freddie Peralta? No warnings? Now that's not okay.
Yeah, well.
And here's Pat Murphy coming out. Yeah. There's no way you can eject him after one hit batter.
He's going to lose his mind here. If he threw him out, I mean, that is really bad.
And Pat Murphy just got tossed. I could understand a warning, fine, I get that. But to have an ejection of a starting pitcher after just one hit batter on a 3-0 pitch, that seems excessive. Chris Guccione going right back at Pat Murphy.
Back at it. Brewers, bad luck with umpiring continues.
That's 3 straight days.
3 straight days where the Brewers have been on the bad end of an umpiring decision. And I cannot believe that Chris Guccione threw out Freddie Peralta after he hit him in the leg.
No.
Uribe looks in with that blue glove, and the 1-1 pitch is rolled to first base. Hoskins fields, tosses to Uribe, covering. And there's one away in the 8th. Abner trying to put that last outing against the Yankees. Oh, and now we have some punches being thrown as Abner Uribe and Siri into it. And the benches have cleared, and the Brewers are not having it. Rhys Hoskins in the middle of it. And that escalated very, very quickly. Everybody's seemingly calming down now, but Siri is being escorted off the field by his coaching staff, and they're trying to get him off the field. The Brewers and Rays all surrounding each other between home and first base. Abner Uribe is in the dugout, and it looks like it might take a second to sort this all out for the umpiring crew. Ricky Weeks is wandering out there. Remember, Pat Murphy already ejected. Freddie Peralta was ejected. And now punches were thrown in front of first base, and Jose Siri was in the middle of it. That got heated very quickly. Siri grounded out, and it was a 3-1 putout. So Uribe was at the bag as Siri was coming through the bag, and words were exchanged, and then things escalated from there. But this thing got escalated a couple of innings ago, and it didn't have to be. And a bunch of temperatures got raised as a result of it. And Uribe looked back at Siri after he got to the first base bag, and then Siri started walking at him, and Uribe and Siri both looked like they threw punches.
Emilio Pagan clearly was frustrated. David Bell raced out in defense of his pitcher, and he gave the guff to Corey Blazer, tossed almost immediately. And this went on pretty much the entire time we were away. 28th career ejection for Bell, his first of the campaign.
Had a weather presentation before the game. A lot of local students coming out to the ballpark. The kids are staying for the game. It's one of those perfect afternoons where the kids can enjoy some fun at the ballpark.
There's a little controversy between James Hoy and somebody in the dugout.
And somebody just got thrown out. James Hoy not having it here in this first inning. That is Drew Butera.
Yep.
George Kirby, 26. Josh Young, 26. And somebody just got thrown out in the Yankee dugout. Looks like it could be James Rowson. They have not liked the strike zone all day. Yankee hitting coach has been ejected, but that seems more like a cumulative complaint. Strike 3. Judge not thrilled with that call. And he gets thrown out. I think that's the first time he's ever been thrown out.
Well, Ryan Blakely, you just made a lot of enemies because a lot of people paid to come watch Aaron Judge swing the bat.
Kind of stunning. You never see him argue. He has a very bad strike zone against him all the time. And he gets tossed. He wasn't in the guy's face. I don't know what he said, so I can't speak to that.
Again, I mean, it's a very questionable call, borderline.
And strike 3 called, and Bichette slams down his helmet, and he just got tossed out of the game. And John Schneider is going to ask why. Did you throw him out? What did he say? Is what John Schneider's just saying. And we saw this, remember Jurickson Profar in San Diego, similar thing. I don't know if Bo said anything. He definitely slammed down his helmet, but that normally is a warning, and it's called an equipment violation. It's a fine, unless maybe it escalates with more words. Let's see if we can get a look here. I think he said something, but I don't think he said it to the umpire. I think he said one word, and I think we know what it is, but either what he said or tossing the helmet was enough, and Bo Bichette's been ejected from this game. At it for the Blue Jays. There goes the runner from first on the appeal, no swing.
And Jose Barrios is pleading his case there, saying that Schwarber swung at that baseball, and when you swing at a pitch and it hits you, it's a strike.
And John Schneider, I believe he's hot at the third base umpire, Paul Clemens, over the check swing call on what Schneider felt should have been a strikeout. And, you know, this is a frustrated group from top to bottom right now, and he is out of this game.
1-2. And he sets him down 98 inside. Ryan O'Hearn, a real big issue with the zone tonight.
Yeah, he's been called out
and
twice.
He's out.
Yeah, he's been called out twice on pitches that were not strikes. Happened his very first at bat against Williams, and then it happens to him again.
And Brandon Hyde's going to get tossed. You kind of felt this coming. It's been a tough zone tonight. You're in the ninth. Your DH is defending himself, and you watch that manager every now and then. He's going to go take one for the guys.
Here's the moment Bud Black gets himself thrown out of the game after being denied the opportunity for a review. I'm guessing, and we were debating on whether or not too much time had expired. Obviously, the home plate umpire, Chad Fairchild, believed it had, but when I was watching from down here, it didn't seem like he was even paying attention to Buddy. And here's the play again that got him tossed, is the attempted stolen base by Ezekiel Tovar comes off, but it looks like he might find a way to get that foot back on the bag, but we'll never know what the review center thinks of it.
That's the 11th time Bud Black has been ejected.
Keeps the inning alive for Brendan Donovan, who singled and scored the lone Cardinal run. And now Ollie and Alan Porter are going nose to nose.
Ollie's going to go. Salzer's going to go too. It's very unprofessional of the umpire right there. Unprofessional, 100% be yelling back at the manager.
That has been bubbling for weeks.
Check swing. Did not go.
Boy, thought he did. Craig Counsell bouncing up to the top step of the dugout, marking a Junior Valentine down there. Fouling.
Craig Counsell's just been ejected. So Craig Counsell ejected for the first time as manager of the Cubs from long distance.
And from Virginia Valentine was positioned on the field. I'm not sure ejection justified there, but I don't know exactly what Craig had to say.
And he's been ejected.
Second time he's got into it with Carlson, and that was clearly a ball.
And now Torrey's been ejected.
Mark Carlson giving it to both Jock and now to Torrey. And Torrey very calmly trying to talk to him, but arguing balls and strikes has gotten them both run.
0-1 to Vidal Brujan. Takes a strike. Another multi-hit game for Brujan last night. Average on the year up to 269, and this is not the first time we've seen it, but Skip Schumacher exchanging words with the home plate umpire, Ben May, and that's actually going to do it for Skip. I think he's the one that got thrown out. Somebody did. Well, they're pointing to someone else on the bench who got thrown out.
Yeah, maybe it was somebody in the stands. That's how Brett Boone, Boone got ran in the Yankee game one day. Somebody in the stands said something, he got ran. You can read Skip's lips. He said, "Who said something?"
Well, now the third base umpire, crew chief Dan Iasonia, comes in. He had his eyes toward the Marlins dugout as well. So Skip just wants to know who said something and who's getting thrown out.
And then Skip says, "No one said anything." All right, who's the guilty one? Is it you, Mel?
Mel.
Is it you, Barajas?
Mel's pointing fingers. Boy, I hope he's talking about something else. That's just good timing. Well, Skip obviously frustrated because someone's getting run here. We just don't know who it is.
They seem to be having some fun down there with it, though.
Well, again, there had been some argument. We were talking about Otto Lopez before, and we took a shot focusing on Otto. Well, who's this going to be now? Now it looks like maybe the bench coach Luis Ureta getting thrown out of the game. But anyway, on the side of the shot that we had with Lopez talking about something else, we saw Skip going back and forth with Ben May. But Skip fighting tooth and nail here that it wasn't him or perhaps anybody even on the bench that said anything. Still pleading his case. But who is going to get thrown out of the game? It might be Pipe done for the day. So looking into the dugout, see if we can pick anything up. Now by that point, Skip wasn't talking.
We have an interesting situation going on here as the inning is about to start. Ronel Blanco is having his glove checked. Laz Diaz, the crew chief, and the four umpires conferring right now.
Feels like they're putting their hand inside Ronel's glove to feel it. Now, if you have enough sweat, they're going to eject him.
Wow. They are going to eject Ronel Blanco from this game for apparently something on the glove. And this is terrible news for a lot of reasons. Number one, he's out of the game. And number two, if this is deemed to be something illegal on the glove, then this could be a suspension as well.
But he's trying to tell him there's nothing on my hand. It's on the. And again, we talked about how much JP Sears is sweating, but obviously enough concern.
And we've seen Ronel in the past not working as hard tonight as JP, so not profusely sweating, but he's a sweater in general. He's a guy that sweats a lot. He's going to get ejected from this game, and now Joe Espada and Josh Miller have to confer as to who's going to be the guy coming out of the bullpen, who will obviously get as much time as needed to warm up.
But they've been checking that glove the whole game. Why would it be on now?
Coming out from the dugout.
Yeah, they've checked him in between innings. They've checked him. Well, we've played 3 innings. They've checked him previously, and all of a sudden they find it now.
That is really disappointing. It'll be the shortest outing of the season for Ronel, who's gone at least 5 2/3 in every game this season for the Astros.
Starling Marte continued to argue with the home plate umpire Manny Gonzalez and got himself ejected from the game.
First, here's the pitch. Is it up? Well, Marte thinks it's up, but Gonzalez calls him out. They had some words, but then Marte started walking out to right field to take his position, and that is when Gonzalez threw him out. And in my opinion, you know, the umpires always have, you can't argue balls and strikes. If the guy's walking out to his position, just let him be, let him go out and play. No one's here to watch the umpire. They're here to watch Marte and others. Is on the inside corner at 97. It's big strike zone for both clubs. Bradish has his first punch out. So Lars Nootbaar is on his way out. Did he just get thrown out of this game? Nootbaar must have been chirping from the Cardinals dugout when he saw 97 ring him up in this first inning. And Laz Diaz stands between him and Mike Estabrook. Lars Nootbaar apparently has been thrown out of this game here in the first. And called strike 3. He said that's 3 that weren't on the plate. He's right, but that's the call that's being made, and Nootbaar is rung up for the second out. And Ollie just got tossed, arguing balls and strikes.
I understand that Laz is the crew chief here, but this is the man making the bad calls. Might as well let him talk it out with him first.
Ollie ejected for the second time this season and 11th time as the Cardinals manager.
The home plate umpire, Brian Walsh, threw him out of the game. After a few moments when we went to break, he threw his helmet down. He was fined for that. He already been fined for throwing his helmet there. And then Bryce, it didn't look like it was all that heated. It was strike 2 that he was upset about. So it's just way too early if you're the umpire to do this.
He was just having a conversation with him, and that's, you have to have some feel for the game and understand. I mean, he didn't look like he was screaming at him or anything like that. He was having a discussion and talking to him probably about the fact that he felt like the pitch was down out of the zone.
The 3-2 from Robertson is low ball 4. So, it's a foul tip into the glove of Jonah Heim, and that's a strikeout. 2 away, and that will definitely get some conversation. Well, now he's retracting it. It's now the Rangers are going to argue. Oh, this is unbelievable. I'm still not sure I understand what's going on with these guys. Oh, and Boats has just been ejected. That didn't take long.
97 sears the inner edge. And Cal Raleigh caught looking for out number 1. And Cal is not happy. And now Ty's trying to point to Garber, and now he got run. I mean, let's face it, right, Mike? This is less about that pitch and more about today. Is that fair? I mean, I'm sure that Cal was not happy in this situation after fighting off that many pitches, but there's more that has led to this.
Frustration, yes.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Absolutely.
Here's the 2-1. Breaking ball down and in. Check the swing. No swing. It's 3 balls and 1 strike.
And now Lopez has just been tossed, Howie. Ramon De Jesus at third. The third base umpire just tossed the pitcher.
Well, you know what? I understand Lopez is upset, but you can't do that because now they've got to get somebody up in the bullpen again.
Whoa. And Lopez responds by tossing his glove up over the netting and into the crowd.
That's where the Mets are at right now.
It's not a good optic.
No.
And a tough one. You lost that one last night.
High pop up off the bat of Stanton. Infield fly rule is called. And let's see if they call interference. It would be a double play if they do. That Soto did not allow Neto to make the play. We saw this play the other day. The umpires are going to talk it over. This was in Chicago where the game ended on this play. You have to give the infielder a chance to make the catch. I understand the rule, Paul, but the guy has to have a path back to the base.
This is unfortunate for the Yankees because Soto didn't do anything wrong. I mean, he didn't go straight back. Neto misjudged the ball and actually went into Soto. He was drawing a foul there, Mike.
Brad Ausmus, the bench coach, is now arguing with the umpires as well. He'll take over the managerial duties since Boone has already been tossed.
And that one inside, and it hit him.
Wait a minute. Miller's trying to claim that ball hit the bat. I got foul ball. You can check it if you want. I mean, the first look we had at it looked like it may have hit the knob of the bat. No, it got the hand too. It got the hand.
Yeah.
Right?
So it got his hand. Somebody just got thrown out. Hang on.
After review, the call on the field is confirmed. It is a foul ball. That remains at that.
Not even call stands. They say it's confirmed. It'd be one thing to say, well, we didn't see enough to overturn it, but they're saying they saw conclusively that ball did not hit his hand, that it hit the bat only.
Yeah, so Craig Counsell was ejected by the plate umpire, Brennan Miller. And now Brennan Miller saying,
Nick stepped out. I think he asked for time. And then Miller was stepping out to Brandon time and thought Diaz was throwing a pitch.
I think he was actually saying he's not engaging me.
Yeah.
Now the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him from 3-0 to a strikeout of Siri, and he put 3 pitches, just like Neil was saying, right at the edges. And Siri is angry with Ryan. Did he just get tossed?
He did.
Siri just got ejected from the game.
Well, he did what you can't do, and I know Ryan Wills has not had a good night, but he pointed at a spot. He took his bat, he showed him where he thought he was, and when that happened, Ryan Wills said enough.
The first pitch strike, and Fairchild's getting a little conversation from the Rays dugout, and boy, you can't blame him. Oh, now Cash has been ejected, and he said that ball was up, and there's no question it was up.
Cash has a right to argue right here. I mean, the frustration, of course, would be boiling over if you're the manager. You're seeing these calls being made.
Now the 1-2. Look out. That pitch almost hit Young. He swings at it and fouls it. No, he's called out. They say he didn't hit the ball, and Jacobs Young's saying it's a foul ball. Malachi Moore strikes him out, saying the ball hit Young, and then he swung. The ball hit the bat. And now Davey Martinez is livid at Malachi Moore.
But we could hear it.
And Davey just got run. Now Davey's going chest to chest and nose to nose. And now he's going toward home plate, and he kicks some dirt over home plate.
Well, Marcotte.
Oh, Marcotte just got tossed. Home plate umpire James Hoy looked over at the dugout and started yelling, and then quickly tossed Marcotte.
Well, and you can see Cott saying that's the first time I've said anything. From what we were hearing was that was the first time I've said anything. You missed it, is all he said. And that word, the one word, the "you," that may have done it. But you can see James saying, I'm hearing it from both sides.
Hayes with a strikeout in the second inning. And somebody just got tossed, and Pete Walker, I guess, is the guy. He didn't like that last pitch wasn't called a strike. Schneider's trying to find out, is it me or is it Pete? There was a little bit of talking from the dugout, and let's see who's gone. I think it's Pete Walker, and he just handed his chart to John Schneider. So yep, Pete Walker's got to leave the dugout. Phil Cuzzy, he had been hearing it a little bit from the Blue Jay dugout.
Outside corner, and Nico very frustrated, and he's been ejected. And now Craig Counsell is out.
Well, you almost never see Nico get into it with an umpire, but the first one was not good. The second one was egregious.
And in there for strike 3. Side retired. Here comes Cora. He is hopping mad at Alan Porter. I believe he's already thrown him out. Pointing at that plate. This goes back to the Dahlbeck at bat and a couple of others where the Red Sox have been upset with the home plate umpire.
It just boils over, right?
Cora, by the way, kicking dirt on home plate.
He's saying here's some dirt. You can't see it anyway.
Yeah, it's disappeared anyway. So he's been tossed.
Look out.
Good rehab spot, I'm telling you, 100 miles an hour. Just getting out of the way.
Oh, and Cal rarely beefs. He didn't like that. You know it's bad when Cal beefs. You know it's bad.
going to earn one here. Did he just throw him out?
I think so.
Holy moly.
He's
Man. Count certainly had a right to beef.
Anybody can have a bad night, but when they have a bad night behind the plate, that's a whole different story.
Well, you got to remember too,
people
that the Cal's been sitting behind there all night.
Precisely,
Yeah.
I'm in total agreement.
Yeah.
He's seen it.
He's seen it. Yeah.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
That supports his argument.
Yes, exactly.
Katse's yelling and now coming out.
I wonder if it may have been about the timer.
He's still upset. Mark Kotze just got tossed from the ball game.
And Bobby goes on first movement. Rizzo throws down to second. And Bobby is out. Yeah, where was Volpe when he received the throw from Rizzo?
Yeah, he's saying you can't do that. They just changed that rule this year. You can't block the base.
And that is not reviewable. So this is the best that he can do. And it's just an old school manager and umpire argument.
Man, Q, you rarely see him lose his cool, man. But I'll tell you what, he's backing up his player. That's for sure, his star player.
Bunt laid down by Robles. Up the first base line, and he beats it out.
And Bochy's going to come out really quick. Curious why. He might be asking about whether Robles was running on the grass or if he was staying on the dirt. So there he is. He's on the grass. Now, under the new rules, you're not allowed to be on the grass. So Bruce Bochy has a case.
But you cannot be on the grass. And you previously had to be in foul territory over that last half where there's the double chalk all the way to first base. And Bochy is still letting Vic Carapazza hear it.
Vic is wrong in this case. Bochy's correct. There he goes.
And now more jawing from the Diamondback dugout. And here comes Torey Lovullo. He's walking closer to an ejection. Now it seems like Nick Marley, the home plate umpire, is trying to aggravate somebody in the Diamondback bullpen, and now there's the ejection.
Well, you knew that was going to happen as soon as Torey was having the slow walk to home plate, because you cannot argue balls and strikes. And I think Torey had his hand up like he wanted to talk first.
Well,
but Nick Marley said no.
This lip reading's a little bit easier, but I'm afraid I can't share much of it.
One ball, no strikes. Oh, did that hit him? I think they're saying that it hit him. Or are they saying catcher's interference? Here comes Brandon Hyde.
It looked like he just had Stubbs.
Yeah, first things first. He's out. His foot's halfway out of the box, but I don't think it hit him.
I think it did, though. It looked like his toe, or toe of his spike vibrated.
All right, come on back, Garrett.
Oh wow! Yeah, here comes Rob.
They're going to walk over and explain it to Rob Thompson.
Yeah, Rob's getting fired up.
Rob's getting fired up now. Again, we don't know what the call is. We're not sure what they're. Oh yeah, he's going to be out of this game.
Yeah.
Look at Garrett Stubbs. He's going to leave. This is not only because of what's going on here, but it's also because of the strike zone today.
Umpire needs to have a little more discretion. I know Rob's pissed.
This is
I get it, but he's going to get more upset with Westbrook yelling back at him. And you know, it's funny when the manager goes out to argue, the crew chief goes in and breaks it up. Why is he letting this go on?
Oh, come on now.
Ooh, Manny Machado did not agree with strike three, and he's been ejected. Now see how long Mike Schilt hangs around here after this.
And he's gone now. Had a feeling.
Yeah, I did too. I did too.
David Bell gets tossed. He had just been out there engaging in conversation moments before we returned that grew far more spirited. And Jim Day, is this balls and strikes?
John, it's hard to tell. I know there was some concern about they were flashing the LED lights, part of their bottom of the eighth celebration, and might have been worried about, hey, our guys are trying to warm up and they can't see.
Melvin, you've been ejected.
Got a pretty big zone all night long, and I'm surprised that there hasn't been a little more chirping from the players and the managers.
It's hot.
Figured sooner or later somebody might get the heave-ho. And
he was moving up the ranks with the Astros, saying, hey, if you're going to call that on me, you got to call it for our guy too.
That's it. Joe Spot is gone.
Well, let him have it.
That pitch was well within the strike zone. Altuve was saying something, and the second base umpire Brendan Miller told him to knock it off, and Joe Espada backing up his player.
Oh, you got to.
That's not a consistent strike zone.
2 on, 2 out in the top of the ninth. The 1-2. Check swing. He did not go.
Bud Black, the Rockies manager, screaming at Barksdale, and he's just been thrown out of the game.
Man, it looked like he went from where up here. 2-2. In the air, deep right center field, and this one is gone. You gotta be kidding me. From a strikeout to a 3-run homer. Jake Cave is yelling something at the second base umpire, Nick Lenz.
Crawford behind. Strike 3 called. Man, that high strike. Yeah, JP's got to watch out right now, and he just got run. That storm has been brewing since the first pitch of the game, and JP is really hot. Can't blame him, to tell you the truth. And now Scott just got run. Yeah, that was just a matter of time. JP's a passionate player. We know that. I've never seen him that passionate before. I mean, he really got in Edding's face, and you could see this one coming a mile away.
Oh. Well, I think Mark Cotte right now just going to kind of come and go through the motions in terms of letting DJ Rayburn speak his piece. So if it's not you going, it's going to be the backstop, but somebody's got to go hit the shower. And I think Kyle McCann was out there letting him know, hey, shower up, pal. Yeah, you.
And he's not done as he walks back to the clubhouse and he puts up the rock and roll signs, living the rock star life.
Do that. 4-pitch walk starts the inning. Uh-oh, got some barking here at the home plate umpire Derek Thomas. You could hear Stroman. No, it's not. It's not high.
Yeah, that one hasn't been called all night, and Aaron might not be here much longer, even though he's got a lead in the game.
It looks like Aaron Boone has been thrown out of this game. So Aaron Boone thrown out by Derek Thomas. Yeah, Boone will be happy to wear that one for his pitcher if it had to be one or the other.
2-2 from Cal. Strike 3 at the top of the zone. See the look back from Cal? If you're not happy with Hunter Wendelstedt.
Well, because he had a pitcher earlier that was a strike that wasn't called. This one's worse. And
This is interesting. Ricky Gutierrez is coming down the line. Davey Martinez hasn't come out. Gutierrez is coming down the line from third to make sure Winker doesn't get ejected.
Spilly, you're right. To your point, the pitch before that was called a ball that I said was a strike. A hitter's going to remember that, and that pitch was higher. That was the pitch that was called strike 3. Oh, wait, and here we go. And this is where Hunter's wrong. He let him go the whole time. This is where umpires have to have thicker skin, because he let him say his piece at the plate, and then when he got in the dugout, he wanted to keep talking. Why do you even care at that point, Hunter? He's in the dugout. I said that's 2.
I mean, Hunter might have warned him, said not another peep out of you.
Left-hander Joe Mantiply is the new pitcher, and Ben May is going to call a pitch timer violation. The Diamondbacks can't believe it. And they just threw Torey Lovello, I believe, out of this game. Maybe it's not Torey. Nope, it's not. I think that's Jeff Batterstone.
Yes, it is.
Well, he was a manager at one time. He knows how to get thrown out of a game.
Yes, he does. And he will give him a piece of his mind.
Oh,
also.
he's hot.
And again, same exact spot with the fastball outside. David Bell is not happy, and he's just been kicked out of the game. So David Bell has just been ejected from the Reds dugout steps, and now he will go out and get his money's worth with home plate umpire and crew chief Todd Tishner. Again, right on top of home plate as he continues to point at Nick Lodolo and out toward the left field wall. Now he's got his last words in, and he will make his way back to the dugout.
Back here at Wrigley, Carlos Mendoza coming out because Edwin Diaz has just been ejected. Vic Carapazza there between Diaz and Mendoza. He's the crew chief. They inspected him for the sticky stuff and didn't like what they found. And he has just been thrown out of this game. So Diaz comes on, will not throw a pitch, has been tossed. And now the Mets will have to go to a different reliever.
317, 10 homers, 50 runs batted in for Jurickson Profar.
And he gets hit with a pitch. What? I don't know. It's a fastball. It's at 98.
Gone. Ejected.
Yeah,
gotta be. Has to be.
Absolutely. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. Wait a minute. No, Hamari just ejected Schilt, I believe. Because Schilt couldn't believe they didn't eject Gore. That's why. So that's what happened.
I thought he was pointing at Gore, but you're right, Don.
He was pointing towards Schilt.
Yeah.
And I got to be with you on this. I mean, 98 miles an hour. I don't care where they hit him. It was low.
Yeah.
They still threw at him.
I agree.
Right?
I agree with you. Yeah. I really. If I had to check a box, yes. And that's
Warnings
just
were already handed out.
And that's just my gut feeling. Yes. Intentional. Yes.
So now Schultz gone.
Well, home plate umpire Derek Thomas has just made an ejection. Pedro Grifol thrown out of this game for arguing balls and strikes. He had been chirping, and if he was trying to get a ticket out of here, he has succeeded, and you wouldn't blame him.
Tap to third. Ramirez charges. Lofton evades the tag, but he's out of the base path, and Trip Gibson calls him out. And Matt Quatrero comes right out of the dugout. Vance Wilson and Nick Lofton have already started the conversation. Lofton has to go around him in some way, right?
Right. And okay, now that's a little bit over 3 feet.
And Q just got ejected.
After having the most votes in phase one. Strike three called at the bottom of the zone as Myers goes down looking. He has struck out 3 times tonight. He has not been happy. And somebody's just been ejected. Perhaps Myers, as the manager of the Astros, Joe Espada, comes out to argue with Jim Wolf. I'm not sure if it was him who was thrown out or if it was Myers himself. I guess it was the manager, as Myers is staying in the dugout. Jim Wolf telling the bench to back off. They didn't.
That one fouled off of Altuve's leg. It's played by Vientos.
Nobody made the call.
And they're going to say that's in play. Altuve never ran.
Oh, he jumped around.
Now they may get help from Alan Porter, the third base umpire. He's also the crew chief. And they're going to call all the umpires in to see if anyone saw this ball hit Altuve's leg. Jose never left the batter's box. Vientos continued the play and made the out at first. And now we're going to need somebody on the bases to have clearly seen that ball hit Altuve's leg. Redirected the baseball, and unfortunately nobody on the bases saw that clearly. And so Jose is going to be out on the ground out, and Jose just fired his helmet down, and he's going to get tossed. Jose had a tough day today earlier when he was thrown out on the bases, forgetting how many outs there were. And today, in his final at bat, he gets thrown out.
You got there. Bunt attempt by Ortiz. Tough play. Gomber missed him. They're going to say that Joey Ortiz is out of the running lane, and he's going to be out. And now Pat Murphy is going to come and argue this play.
It looked like he was in that running lane the entire time.
Major League Baseball actually extended it a little bit on both sides. Does not touch him.
Oh, he missed the tag. And now Pat Murphy is going to get some reinforcements from Ricky Weeks, and Murph just got tossed by Brendan Miller.
Here's the payoff. Oh, Tommy Pham not happy about that one. It looked a little down. Jimenez has not been calling that for flexing.
Hedges wants it low and away, and that slider might have just barely caught the strike zone.
And someone's now been ejected, and here comes manager Pedro Grifol.
Looks like Pedro got tossed, and he's asking why.
Because Jimenez has not been calling that both ways. And now Tommy Pham comes out of the dugout. He's not happy. Crew chief Lance Barksdale wants to get in the middle of it.
Pedro came out to protect Tommy Pham, and I believe he was ejected for his efforts.
Down to the count 1-2. Hudson deals, and he struck him out. Slider right on the corner, out number 2. That's the 3rd strikeout for Adames, and Willie just got tossed.
Wow.
Well, he said something to Mark Ripperger in his last AB, and now Willie Adames was looking back at Mark Ripperger, and now Willie and Mark going nose to nose.
Yeah, I mean, Willie's walking away back to the dugout. He's frustrated more with himself. He says something, obviously, said something that he shouldn't say, and he got tossed by Ripperger. That's 2.
That's it.
That's not something you should get thrown out for. I'm sorry.
Eugenio Suarez just lost his cool, and we believe Gino in between innings barking at Stu Sherwater, as he has throughout the night. Finally got himself ejected. Torrey out there to defend his player, but Gino, this is between innings, and we've never seen Gino this hot. This is not good vibes only here. And Sherwater, who's heard it from Gino throughout the night, finally apparently had enough. And so Kevin Newman is in the game, and he will take over at 3rd, and they had to get between Suarez and Sherwater.
I will say there's been a lot of calls that were called strikes that were out of the strike zone, but the last one was really a good pitch.
Yeah, that was a very good pitch, no doubt. But there's also no doubt that Stu Sherwater hasn't had the greatest night ever. Let's just leave it at that.
Exactly.
Strike called. Oh my goodness! It should be 5-3.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Oh, brother.
Not only was that pitch down, but it was off the plate.
Shelton is livid, and he's about to be tossed. He's gone. And who can blame Shelton?
I tell you what, I mean, I give it to him there, because that is a reason to get kicked out of this game. That is terrible.
On the corner. Ooh, yes, it was on the corner. Strike 3 called a slider, perfectly painted.
Yeah, EQC Tracer has it right there.
And somebody just got tossed by the Mariners from the Mariners dugout. Was it Julio? I think Julio's on his way. Yeah.
Although I'm not certain, I believe that Matt Blake, the pitching coach of the Yankees, got thrown out arguing with Edwin Moscoso about the strike zone. Yeah, he got thrown out. So Matt Blake, the pitching coach, is done for the night.
Too far behind St. Louis, holding the 2nd wild card. Strike 3 call to Pilar. Well, that one seemed
way off the plate. That was way off the plate.
It seemed like an 11-0 type call from Nick Marley, and Pilar does not appreciate it. Somebody's been ejected. I think it was Pilar. Ron Washington has come out to talk about it with Nick Marley, the manager, the home plate umpire. Pilar had every right to be upset about that call.
He gave him a little bit of leeway, but then after a while, I've seen it a few times when he turned back again and saying that's not a strike, which it wasn't. I doubt he was going to get thrown out at that point.
That call, strike 3.
That's
not raised down.
He just throw him out?
I think he did. Here comes Rob Thompson. It was a very unemotional throw out by Rackley.
Yeah. Not much emphasis on it like normal, but still doesn't make up for the missed call.
Really unenergetic toss out.
Brandon Hyde's upset. He's still looking out at Clay Holmes.
Uh-oh, Brandon Hyde's going to go shout. Brandon Hyde's throwing his helmet away. Brandon Hyde is pointing at the Yankees dugout. And the benches have emptied. Umpires trying to hold the players and coaches back. Here come the bullpen sprinting onto the field.
This stems from the last time the Orioles were in New York. Aaron Judge gets hit. Then the Yankees throw at Gunnar Henderson and then hit him the next day. And this is where all this starts from.
Cooler heads hopefully had prevailed here. Didn't see any punches thrown, just some pushing and shoving. Emotions running high on both sides. And yeah, Brandon's going to go with the lineup card tucked into his pocket.
And Iglesias takes strike 3 called. Slider got him looking. He thought it was a ball. And that's the second out.
That's 2 now. The Alonso pitch for strike 3. And then this pitch to Iglesias, which was a really
and
bad.
He gets run. Carlos Mendoza's been ejected. He was incensed. And Carlos Mendoza got his money's worth.
Mauricio Dubon did not stop arguing, and it would eventually get thrown out by the home plate umpire Nestor Ceja.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Nestor Ceja is throwing out Mauricio Dubon when he was arguing with Carlos Torres. Usually the crew chief will come in. Who is Carlos Torres?
Roommate. We still had roommates in '93. Oh man, his dad was fiery.
Oliver Marmol just got tossed from this game. He's been complaining about it all night. The pitch appeared to be a strike, but what the Cardinals saw was the pitcher missed his spot by a good 1.5 feet. And that's happened a couple of times in this game. You know the frustrations that St. Louis dealt with Kyle Gibson on the mound. So Oliver Marmol is ejected from our game here in the 6th inning, his 3rd ejection of the season.
Oh, it's 2 different things, that's for sure, because you have to do it up here and have that success so that then you have the confidence. And so far so good for Leo. But oh, somebody just got tossed. Looks like Chris Bassett.
Well, Chris Bassett was out on the field and yelling at the first base umpire Gabe Morales, and then John Schneider came out. I don't think John Schneider got thrown out of the game. It looked like Gabe Morales was looking at the far end of the dugout. 1 down, and now Dalton Varsho. He was 2 for 3 with a single and a triple.
I think that hit his bat. Home plate umpire pointed at Dalton and said that it hit his bat.
And John Schneider's coming out. This is not reviewable. And both Varsho and Schneider, Schneider kicked out. Schneider is saying check with somebody. Check with the 3rd base umpire.
Ask for help.
And remember, Gabe Morales is at the plate today. He was at first last night. He's the guy that Chris Bassett was furious with. Tossed Bassett out of the game.
There is no harm on a check swing or in a potential foul ball to ask for help.
Well, Aaron Boone between innings has been thrown out. He was barking at the home plate umpire, and he had his say. And then Jimenez said, "You're out." So that's the 38th time in his young managerial career he's been tossed. An emphatic toss there by Jimenez, and the 5th time this year. And then he got his money's worth. And Jimenez didn't even say anything back. He listened to everything that Boone was saying, and Boone couldn't get any traction in a conversation as Jimenez just stared at him.
And we will go there, apparently without Skip Schumacher, who has just been tossed. Rather calmly, I would say, by the home plate umpire Rob Drake.
Well, it's been brewing. You really go back to the strikeout of Emmanuel Rivera. That was back in the 2nd inning. And then the strikeout on Jazz. 2 pitches that were clearly at least 6 inches off the plate.
Oh yeah.
So it's been kind of brewing. We've had shots of Skip in the dugout.
3 for 3 tonight, 12 for 14 since the All-Star break, and a single away from hitting for the cycle in 6 innings.
Inside, it hit him. It got him on the left arm. No hit for Bobby Witt Jr. He takes his base on a hit by pitch.
Well, that's not going to make Junior happy, any of his teammates, and any one of the fans here tonight. That will stir him up.
And he may have just got one of his teammates hit tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure now they'll definitely retaliate, I would imagine.
1 on, 2 out.
Knew that was coming. Now, they have to do this, see, so whenever that happens, warn the guys now to see if everyone will warn them. Everybody gets a warning.
Now, these are the warnings that will not typically anger the dugouts. because it was taken care of professionally by the players on the field.
Exactly.
They had a guy that was hit. We had a guy that was hit. Q's coming out because he wants to get Salvi out of the conversation. You saw how angry Salvi was when Junior got hit. I don't fully understand this one. And Torey Lovello is a very respected baseball man in the game. And yet his team is down by 7. Bobby Witt Jr. was hit on the arm. Gabriel Moreno was hit on the back. And usually it's over and you move on. Now, if this was a 1 or 2 run game, I could understand what Torey Lovello is saying. Usually, when a manager gets angry like that after a warning has been issued, the reason for it is something along the lines of, wait, they hit one of our guys and now we can't hit one of their guys. But it's all square, and for 100 years, that's how the players police the game on their own.
Well, as we went to commercial, Alex Cora was thrown out of the game, arguing with the home plate umpire Mark Wegner, who is the crew chief, and he tossed him. And AC came out to get his money's worth. First time he's been ejected since June 8th at the White Sox.
The hat came off and everything. And I'll tell you right now, OB, you made a great point. The Winkowski pitch early in the game, the double by Stallings basically was the pitch. Now that last pitch was off. Mark made a good call, good pitch all the way around, but I guarantee you that was some carryover.
Now Stanek will throw on 3-2 after having walked the first 2 hitters of the inning. Mariners bullpen is hot behind Stanek. And there's strike 3 called. Shotwell can't believe it. Mike Estabrook, the home plate umpire, has ejected Shotwell, who is irate at the 3rd strike called for the 2nd straight at bat.
That's also the 5th called 3rd strike by Estabrook to Angels today. That was another pretty good pitch, though.
Now Johnny Washington has already been ejected, the hitting coach of the Angels. Ron Washington has his say.
Runner going, and that one is foul tipped in and out of the glove. And here comes Bruce Bochy, and I don't like that call too much.
I'm saying that he dropped the ball. It was a foul tip drop, not a foul tip catch.
Yep, he lost it on the exchange.
It's on the transfer. That's the right call.
Still having it out with Moscoso. And Boch, he wanted a little bit more, and Moscoso said, nope, that's enough. And look, Boch, you understand too here, it is not like the way things have been going for his ball club either. Sometimes the manager just needs to show a little bit extra here to get the fellas fired up as well. I got the sense at some point there that he wanted to get run.
I'm with you. I think he senses the energy of the team, and sometimes this can fire you up as a player and win one for the Gipper.
His 4th ejection this year. Again, Moscoso thought the conversation was over. And said, oh, wait a minute. Oh, okay. Maybe Boch needs a little better idea what I was thinking. The conversation was over.
Right-hander. Got him.
Did he throw him out?
He tossed him. And given how we've seen the strike zone expand for Sears.
And this time a little bit lower and gets a call. And now McCutcheon says, you gave him that other one. And right away, Nestor Seiya doesn't want to hear it. And somebody just got tossed immediately, and it's Andy Haynes, the Pirates hitting coach. He's had enough. Do your job, he's screaming.
And you got to love that as a player when your hitting coach is standing up for it early in the game like that.
There's no other way to put it. The strike zone has been all over the place today. George Springer rung up on a pitch low of the zone. He was talking to Laz Diaz, and Kevin Gausman, right before God Bless America, really going at the home plate.
Yeah, Gausman was giving it to Laz Diaz. I think Diaz threw Gausman out, and then they start God Bless America. John Snyder still arguing why both Laz and Snyder are respecting God Bless America, and they're still arguing. And then Gausman, he really gives it to him.
Strike 3, Wells down looking. He has his hands on his hips. Doesn't love the call.
Yeah, and as a catcher, you have to be careful because you understand that you have the lead and you want to get those pitches. And he's right. It's down. It's a really good pitch. It's a real borderline pitch.
I'm wondering if Boone got thrown out because you're not allowed to argue balls and strikes, and Tripp Gibson is listening to the Yankee manager.
Or you wonder if somebody else in the dugout got thrown out. And hopefully it wasn't Austin Wells as he was walking back.
The crew chief, Laz Diaz, joins the fray.
This has been an interesting inning because we had someone, the meeting in front of the mound. Yeah, somebody tossed.
I'm wondering if it was Wells. I mean, that's costly to throw out your catcher.
Yes, especially in a situation where you have an inexperienced catcher. And I always thought one of the hardest positions to change during the game was the catching spot, because you're in tune with the game and what's happened in the game and the at-bats that the hitters have. I used to hate coming in the middle of the game.
I guess it's Boone. He gave the lineup card to Brad Ausmus. And there's a strike.
Wow.
And we see.
Now, all he said was, it's low. And then the next one was even lower.
Now, there's more barking from the Yankee dugout. And Tripp Gibson is standing there, staring in. There's James Rowson, the hitting coach.
Yeah, and there goes
he gets
another.
thrown out.
That was always my beef, Michael, when I got thrown out for being right.
That's not a strike.
What can you say at this point, other than this has got to get better?
Another one. Look at Cowsley. He said, that's not a strike.
Yeah, Larry Vanover just threw somebody out of the Orioles dugout. I don't know who, but somebody had it coming, and Brandon Hyde's going to come out. Looked like he mouthed, "Who'd you throw out?" Brandon Hyde apparently has been ejected from this game, and he's going to get his money's worth before he leaves. He's holding up 4 fingers again. It wasn't a very hostile conversation there from Brandon. He accepts his fate. He has a few words to say. But Larry's just had a bad night, as you said. He's missed a ton of pitches.
Wow, and he gives him that pitch.
He's given 2 in a row. The one
Good
before that.
night.
Chip, do you see the one? Yeah, I know you're throwing. Yes, you can see Snit. One before that was even lower.
Ridiculous. Snit is from the Bobby Cox School of Managing, and yeah. You're seeing he's getting his money's worth. Yep, I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. I was just fixing to say you're about to see Snit get thrown out of this game.
I think he's giving us a show, boys. This will be the first Braves ejection of the year. Get him, Snit.
It's a joke.
Well, he's warranted in doing this. It's been a very inconsistent strike zone, mostly gone against the Braves. You got a little bit of a frustrating time going on right now. So Snit's going to get his money's worth and try to fire his folks up at the same time.
Squares around the bunt. Does so firmly to third. Hernandez bobbles and throws, and he's safe.
I mean, this is a great play all around. I mean, what are you supposed to do?
Dave Roberts out there arguing with Hunter Wendelstedt, and he's been thrown out of the game. Now, the definition of obstruction is when a fielder either not in possession of the ball or not in the act of fielding a throw is in the way and impedes the run.
That one? Oh, my goodness. Come on. That's not a strike. That's not close to a strike. And Bob Melvin just got kicked out of the game, and I don't blame him. I mean, that's a call from an umpire that can change a whole game. And you ring a guy up on that pitch, and then you toss the manager out on top of it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to make that call, then you got to wear it. You got to understand you made a mistake, and you're going to wear it. And he did not want to listen to Bob Melvin. But now you're looking for a guy to pick up a teammate here.
Let's take a look at the final pitch of last half inning. Ellie De La Cruz thought it was low. He had a calm but extended conversation with home plate man and crew chief Bill Miller. And after seemingly that conversation was done in calm fashion, David Bell came out from the dugout and just about quickly, in somewhat understated fashion, gone.
And I think that David Bell said to Bill Miller, the home plate umpire, that pitch was out. And that was an awful quick ejection by Bill Miller.
So Bell just set a franchise record, the 31st time ejected from a ball game.
Balk is called,
and a run will score.
Tim Aaron's about to get tossed out.
Well, Stephen Vogt came over to protect him. This is a full week's worth, if not more, of pent-up frustration for the Guardians. And it might be coming to a head here tonight.
I think, man, watching this thing back, it doesn't look like he does anything. I think part of what sets off Jim Wolf is Austin Hedges screaming to step off.
Another one's in there.
Right on the edges.
Yeah, those are two big league fastballs right there.
This one on the outside corner. That one right at the knees.
Murphy giving it to Phil Cuzzy. That mask comes off quick. Murphy, I would guess, knows it's a strike on the K zone, but wants to make sure Contreras knows his manager's fighting for him. Brewers down a run in the 8th inning. On the ground, got a chance for 2 here. De La Cruz to Espinal, over to first in time for a double play, and that'll end the inning. I think Cuzzy just launched somebody out of here.
Yeah, just threw out William Contreras. That was a long-range throw out, by the way. Not sure what he did or what he said, but he's gone.
Sometimes that's a strike, sometimes it's not.
Well, it needs to be called, and the Cardinals bench, well, there he goes. There's Ollie.
Figured it was coming. Ollie has been barking all night, especially when Tommy Pham got rung up twice.
All you ask for is consistency behind the plate. It's not an easy job, but it needs to go both ways. You saw in that breaking ball to Pedro Pajes, who is rarely demonstrative towards the umpire behind the plate, banged his glove on the ground, wanting that call. Ollie sticking up for his guys.
And that one, whoa! Looked like it was off the plate. Langford thought it was wide, and Bruce Bochy not real pleased either. Strike 3 call to end the inning, and that is a huge missed call when the Rangers had the bases loaded.
Wyatt Langford just in disbelief.
And Boch wants to get his.
He might get run right
here. Yeah. Yep. Oh, and there it is. He's been tossed.
George said that hit me. Yeah, he said, yeah, check it out.
The call on the field stands. No hit by pitch. Toronto loses their challenge.
But there's no way. That ball hit George Springer's foot and directionally changed direction.
He just threw him out. Gonzalez might have said something that really tripped the trigger of Springer because he is hot. But George was hit in his mind and didn't get the call.
The Royals have gone 26-13 against their division, but it's kind of skewed because they've dominated the White Sox and the Tigers, the 2 teams at the bottom. And they haven't played as well against Minnesota. And
somebody got thrown out already. Johnny Washington, that break a ball below the strike zone. That was quick.
Johnny Washington a few steps out of the dugout, and now Ron Washington cuts him off. It's the second time Johnny Washington's been ejected this year. He's been ejected more times than Ron Washington.
I mean, that pitch was definitely below the strike zone too. And there's been a couple calls in this game where they've been going the pitcher's way. That's for sure. That's well below the strike zone, especially when you see Perez bring that glove up so quickly.
Vic Carapazzo with a quick hook on Johnny Washington, the Angels hitting coach.
Edwards is not like that call, and he just
now he's going to get, because he's going to say something about that pitch. He wanted to get out there to make sure Xavier didn't get thrown out of the game. So halfway there he said, oh, the heck with it. I might as well let home plate umpire Gabe Morales know what I thought about that last call. And Skip has got thrown out.
Let's hope it's Skip.
Yeah, it is, because he's leaving.
When it registers in the hitting zone, it's a strike. But the way that it's caught because of the movement, it's out of the zone.
For the Royals, since they got him. Here's the next pitch. That's called strike. Boy, the Angels are shouting at the home plate umpire, Mike Estabrook. And I think that was Tim Laker that might have been ejected from the Angels dugout.
Well, after the pitching change, Pat Murphy just got ejected from Brian Walsh, the home plate umpire, is on his way back into the dugout. Pat Murphy was less than pleased with some of the ball strike decisions in this inning. Been going both ways for both teams, and that zone is expanded for both squads. Pat Murphy kept saying what he wanted to say, and Brian Walsh had heard enough.
He's been hearing it from both sides these last, what, 3 innings maybe?
Well, the points are on his shoulder. Oh, Caballero hit by the pitch. Oh, forget that. Saying he didn't get out of the way. Brock Ballou is going to get an earful from Kevin Cash.
Kevin's going.
Yeah. He's only been thrown out once this year.
You can read his lips. Sure he's like, I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. And Kevin is telling him, yes, you are.
Well, now he's going to get tossed. Second ejection of the year for Kevin Cash. He doesn't get tossed too often, but when he does, he really means it.
Well, he came out hot.
Yeah.
That's how I felt rolling out of bed this morning.
That good, huh?
Or that bad.
Yeah.
Now the breaking ball on Caballero. Oh, he's leaning into it. I think Brock Ballou actually has a point.
So watch right here. Right here. Boom. Foot on the bag. And then you can see up here the ball being tagged. So I've got him on the bag just before that tag is being applied. You can see the dirt fly up. You don't see the dirt pop up in between.
After review, the call stands, the runner's out, Oakland loses the challenge.
Well, now Mark Kotze is coming out. He's going to want an explanation to figure out if there was a ruling prior to Andujar. Yep.
Man, oh man, Mark Kotze just got ejected by Eric Bacchus.
And it's because Mark Kotze cannot come out and argue the call after it's been challenged. And this is what that rule is trying to prevent. But Kotze, just like Kevin Cash, is going to cash out on his way out.
To waved at and missed. Well, he came all the way back to get him. Now he's barking at Clemens. Here comes Cora. He is thrown out of the ball game. Wilyer Abreu has been run. Now he was barking back at Clemens on that pitch that he thought did not get the strike zone, but it did.
Yeah, I think AC has a right to be upset there because that was quick. Not sure what was said, but it was so fast the way he did it.
0 for 1, grounded out to third base, his first at bat, and takes that one right off the outside corner, but called a strike.
He just threw him out.
Yep.
There is no reason to call Alex or throw him out on that. He walked right past Alex Tosi and said that zone was bad. If anybody in this league knows the strike zone, it's him. But Alex Tosi took it upon himself to throw out the Astros all-star third baseman and made it about him instead of the game.
2 years later, managed the Padres. And a strike 3 called. Pirates are indeed frustrated.
And Derek Shelton is out of the dugout right now.
In fact, he's just waiting to get tossed now. There he goes. He'll get his money's worth now. Marvin Hudson. Derek Shelton talked about how frustrated he was after the game the other day, that loss.
Oh, sorry, Steve.
And that's it.
It looks like Grady Sizemore has been tossed, and he is hot. He said 2 nights in a row, you are squeezing the strike zone of my guys. And you know what? Grady's right. It's been a bad night for Hunter Wendelstedt.
Hunter's getting up in Grady's face.
Grady Sizemore sticking up for his guys.
Sometimes that can put a charge into the ball club. I mean, you got to go out there occasionally and get run. You can't blame him. This has not been the greatest night for Hunter.
Of course he is.
And that is just Benintendi might be.
And then Benintendi is now tossed.
Well, he got 2 calls that were.
Hunter, you're just bad. You're just bad. Like, where are these automatic umps?
Oliver Marmol and Lance Barrett not seeing eye to eye in the strike zone. And Ollie just got run.
Well, Ollie's saying, I was walking back and you throw me out.
Well, there were 2 heave-hoes. I wonder if someone behind Ollie got run first, and then when Marmol started arguing, he got run too. So both the Cardinals manager and bench coach ejected here in the 4th inning with the lead.
Oops. That actually hit Alex Bregman, and he's going to go to first base. No, the Astros are thinking of challenging, but they called that a hit by pitch, so the Astros don't have to challenge.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. It's a foul ball, no hit by pitch.
And that'll be a strikeout. Louder's first strikeout of the day, second out of the inning, and now a message from TXU Energy. Did Bregman just get tossed?
Unbelievable.
Hold on. We're not going to go to TXU. Bregman just got tossed for the second time in his last 3 games. He got tossed by Alex Tosi in the first game of the Kansas City series. Oh, that might have been Joe that got tossed. Maybe Breggy's still in the game. Breggy pointed at himself like, did you just get me?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Omar Lopez has the clipboard. So that could be a sign that it's Joe and not Breggy. So there you go.
Get out of here. Come on, man. And De La Cruz is right to argue here.
He is. That has not been a strike all night. And that's 2 back-to-back pitches that were terrible from Vanover.
And this is a great spot for David to defend his player.
He's right.
He's going right at the veteran umpire. I mean, it was off the plate away and then down and in.
I think he threw him out of the game.
This is a good spot for the skipper to step in and protect his best hitter.
Those were bad pitches. Those are bad calls.
I'm sure Ryan Feltner will tell you after the ball game, and Darryl Scott as well, and Buddy Black. That's part of athletics.
Somebody just got tossed.
Yeah, Buddy was getting hot, so was Darryl Scott. Buddy was really upset about multiple calls that last at bat. There's a pitch on the outside corner that Buddy asked if it was outside, and they said it was down.
So Buddy's ejected by Marquez.
I think you could hear Buddy at the beginning of him getting his money's worth, saying those fastballs were not high.
And hits Altuve's foot. They're going to say fair ball. Brennan Miller's going to say that ball didn't hit Altuve, and that's going to be the final out of the inning. Brennan Miller is not ingratiating himself to Astros players, coaches, or manager.
You got to ask for help.
You got to check with other umpires to see if it did hit Altuve.
Altuve needs to be pulled out of the situation. They need to keep him in this game.
They're going to say that's a fair ball, and it did not hit Altuve in the end of the inning. Josh Hader taking the mound here for the bottom half of the 9th inning. Altuve showing where it hit his foot. And now he's ejected.
Oh, man, that's amazing.
You're right, though. They should have got Altuve out of there. He's been ejected. We're going to have a tie game heading to the bottom of the 9th. Altuve will limp off the field. This game is crazy. Jose Altuve ejected. Here's a replay, Blummer.
Yeah, you can see the top of the shoe. Watch the baseball changing a little bit of direction, hitting off that big toe of Jose Altuve before it goes to third base, but none of the umpires brought in. Brennan Miller making that call on his own. But it looked like a change of direction to the point that Jose Altuve took off his shoe and sock to show where that ball hit. I've never seen that before. There's Altuve trying to show the evidence. Hit him right there. Polka's exposed.
We all know the drill.
2-2 pitch is over the inside corner. Woodford takes advantage of that big strike zone, has his 4th strikeout, and 1 man down. And Oliver Marmol is barking about the strike zone here.
DJ Rayburn said, how do you know you can't see that? And if I read lips correctly, I said, Ollie said, you can't see it either.
And Turner Ward got the heave-ho first. Now it's Oliver Marmol.
Either he's telling a fishing story or telling him how far off the plate he has missed a few times.
And I'm guessing what got Ollie hotter under the collar was only Rayburn and Turner Ward knew that conversation was going on. Why look in the dugout and throw him out? So Ollie comes out to protect his hitting coach, shakes his head. We pointed it out. It has been a very big strike zone for both starting pitchers here tonight. So Ollie is ejected with a 4-2 lead. And Rayburn making sure Ollie heads down the tunnel along with Turner Ward.
He played with an edge, and he manages with an edge. That is a called strike 3. Merrill Kelly's getting those calls. And Pat Murphy again letting Chris Siegel hear about it. Ortiz wants an explanation too. Inning over. Merrill Kelly strikes out the side in the 5th.
Joey Ortiz didn't like it, takes up the conversation with the ump, but it's civil as he walks away now. I've got my brat. We'll save the story until the next half
don't worry
inning.
about.
All right.
It's the 6th inning coming up. And Pat Murphy, as we leave you for a commercial break, is out there talking with Chris Siegel, if you will.
There would have been outs. Throw down to second base and back in on his feet is Buxton. He's safe. Here comes Rocco to argue this now with Alan Porter.
He had everybody jumping. Rocco coming running out of that dugout. So you're talking about that interference, giving a guy an opportunity to touch the base. I think give him a balk here.
Wow. Gonna send him down to third.
Alex doesn't seem too happy about it. Oh, the knee.
Oh,
there it is.
The knee down. Yeah, there you go. He did drop the knee down. He picks up third.
And they just toss Porter out of the game.
He is hopping madman. He's going right to second base. This is as hot as he's been all year. Porter puts his body in front of Alex Cora to keep him from getting to the other umpires, Blakeney, Mazzell, and Barber. Wow. He is steaming.
You're the second base umpire. You're making the call. You don't see it. You let other people influence you.
Right, right.
And that misses just low, and it's 2-0. Cabrera wanted that one. And somebody just got tossed on the Blue Jays side of the field, obviously not liking the strike call. Maybe it was John Schneider. He's out to talk right now with Nate Tomlinson, but somebody got the heave-ho. John Schneider is extremely unhappy and not mincing his words right now for those who can lip read. And now the crew chief, Larry Vanover, is going to slowly make his way in from second base.
Yeah, he's letting the manager have his say with the home plate umpire before he intervenes. And Larry Vanover, a veteran of many major league seasons.
That should have been strike 3. You can't miss that pitch. That's right on the outside corner. He's hearing it from the dugout also. Yeah, it's a strike. That's what it is. That's what they're saying.
Now somebody just got ejected, and I believe it was Barry Enright who was hot at the home plate umpire earlier when he came to the mound.
He's missed quite a few of them there, especially that one. That's all over the strike zone.
Barry Enright ejected for the first time this year.
Spencer fires the rosin down, a little frustrated as this inning has unfolded. We'll have a pitching change here. Astros lead 5-0. Spencer Getty not happy with home plate umpire Mark Wegner, the crew chief, but on his way out had a few words for Wegner, and he would get tossed by the home plate umpire on his way back to the dugout. So Arrighetti, who is leaving the game anyhow, ends up getting ejected, and the Astros go to a new pitcher.
And strike 3. And Matt Carpenter just got thrown out of the game. He and Mr. Nets have not seen eye to eye all night. And he walked him. No, it's in for a call strike 3, and Alvarez is hot. Pitch looked low. Ramon DeJesus called it a strike. Carlos Mendoza's coming out of the dugout. Alvarez just spiked his helmet, and Mendoza gets thrown out of the game.
You know, managers will tell you we can't always see inside or outside from the dugout, but we can see high and low, and that pitch was clearly low. And Carlos Mendoza is getting his money's worth.
I've never seen Carlos hot like this.